Good evening to one and all present here. I welcome you all to the fourth INFOBER event, a very interesting and useful domain, web development INFOBER with DSC SREC. Before we start with today's event, I, on behalf of the whole DSC SREC team, would like to thank you all for being so supportive and for being a great audience. Your support and appreciation is what keeps us going. It means a lot to us. Also, a huge thank you to all the chief guests who not only took time and helped us on the event day, but also support us all the other days with any doubts. They are available in LinkedIn. If needed, please don't hesitate to take their help. Also, if you want to go through our other INFOBER events, that's AI, ML, Android development, or AR, VR, it's all available in our channel. Do check it out. So unlike other events, we don't have any chief guest or external speakers here. We have our student community who have done an excellent job in learning in this domain. They have already started to explore in this domain and are here to help us get through our hurdles and take us along with them. We have 5 amazing students here with us today. Let us all welcome Harish, Technical Head of Web Development Team, DSC SREC, and let us also welcome Surya Narayanan, Sahitya S, Mahendra Prakash R, Ganesh Kumar K, who are the team members of Web Development Team DSC SREC. Today's event will be handled by them. Please take over, technical team.
Hello. Thank you, Ovia. So, welcome you all to this wonderful evening with us. So, I am Arish, technical lead of web development team at Develop Students Club. So, I hope you are all safe and we can start now. I will share my screen. Okay, so we are here to see about history of internet and introduction to HTML. Uh, okay, so what is internet? So basically, internet is an essential thing everyone wants in their life now because in this uh, era, everything is connected to internet. I mean, we are even now connected to internet. YouTube Live, everything, online classes, everything is on internet. So everything is internet. So it's a very important thing in everyone's individual life. So like the internet is actually founded in 1969 by MIT engineers. So it's an idea of sharing things among peoples. So they came up with the idea called internet. So this internet is now a big revolutionary in this digital world. So why internet? Why people use internet frequently? So these are the reasons I prefer that people are using. So first is information. So everybody wants information. If you want some information, you go to Google, type it, and you will get the answer there. So like that, information is a very important thing for people to use internet. So second thing is communication. Everybody is communicating on internet now. Like we are connected through YouTube and WhatsApp, Facebook, everything is internet. So communication is also plays an important role in internet technology. So entertainment. So entertainment, everyone watches movies now, web series, Netflix, Amazon Prime, everything like now everything is OTT. Even now Tamil movies is everything is releasing on OTT. So entertainment also plays an important role in this digital world. So work now in this pandemic situation, work from home is very setting trend because unable to go to college, go to office like that. So work from home is now essential thing for everyone here. So yeah, work is an important also. So marketing, advertisements is a big what do you say, an area where people promote their products, promote their events, anything is now basically full of internet. So marketing also is a very important thing that plays an important role in internet. So next is asking for help. If you need some help, you can post a query in any forums like Stack Overflow and many things like that, and people there for you to answer it. So yeah, so that's also an important thing in the internet. So yeah, this is a quote by Stephen Hawking. We are all now connected by internet like neurons in a giant brain. So yeah, what neurons do is it will transmit the data all over the body that what we are doing, anything like that. So that's like the internet. It will transmit the data all over the world. So yeah. So next we are jumping into introduction to HTML. So what is an HTML? So HTML is basically a markup language. It's not a programming language. It's a markup language for document designed to display in web browser. So everything you see in a website is an HTML file. For styling, you can use CSS and scripting languages for JavaScript. So basically, when you type a web address in the browser, it will send a request to it, and first thing you will see is an HTML page in a web browser. So yeah, that's the HTML is the base thing for everything. After that, you go for the styling the website using CSS and some advanced things in JavaScript and where using React.js and AngularJS like web frameworks. You can even more make your website more compatible and good looking. So uh, he is the founder of the HTML. He's founded is 1991. His name is Brennan Lee. He is the he founded the HTML, which is used to display all the web pages now we are using. So this is the timeline of the HTML. So first HTML1 version is released in 1991, and HTML2 is released in 1995, HTML3 1997, and HTML4 1997, and HTML5 is 2015. And this is the last version of the HTML5. We will be using HTML5. There will be no newer version according to Brennan Lee. So yeah. So markup. So HTML, it's how you say, it's basically a structure of the using tags like that. We don't want to include anything like C programs like that. We simply use tags to display content on the web pages that is we are viewing and interacting with. So yeah, so HTML tags mostly common in pairs like open tag and close tag. Some tags are called empty elements like image tag or break tag like that. So this is the basic HTML code. So basically use HTML tag to display the content. The head tag is basically used to define all the external files it uses and the title, which is displayed in the browser tab, and inside the body tag what it type will be displayed in the web browser. That's the main part where you need to focus, so it will be more good looking, and it will be not like some mess up things like that. So yeah, so let's break down the code. So describes the HTML tags describe the web page. You need to start with HTML and close the HTML tag to display everything you need to in the web browser. And between the body tags, it's the visible page content where you type the code like H1, where you use the codes like H1 tag, P tag, every different tags available in the HTML. And the markup text title tag is a browser page title. Like I said, it will be displayed in the tab, and the div tag is used for styling purposes. Basically, if you use div tag, it will break the web pages into blocks. If you use span, it's an inline element. If you use div, just basically divides the web page into blocks, which is easy to style individual block using div. So the document type declaration doc type is used for declare that you are using HTML5. So if you not declare it, it will defaultly take as HTML5, but it's recommended that you need to use the document type declaration. So elements and attributes. What is elements? Elements is basically HTML document component. So like it's a tag which you need to represent as open and close brackets. That's attribute is name value pair, which is separated by equal to. In the attribute you have various attributes like class, style, source, width, height, like that. Many attributes are available in the HTML5. So next thing will be continued by my team members. Yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone. A pleasant evening to everyone here. And now we are going to see about what is HTML. Okay, we have seen a few things in the last 20 minutes about HTML. So next we are going to see somewhat deep about this. Okay, HTML expands Hypertext Markup Language. Okay, what is Hypertext Markup Language? Hypertext means if you text something in one page and then you click that text, you will be redirected to another page. That is called a hypertext. So then markup. Markup means the color you want the font to be, how it should be displayed, the font size you want, and the language. So HTML is Hypertext Markup Language. Then what is it used for? It is used for obviously creating web pages and how it is represented. In the last 20 minutes, we come across the words like tag, div, etc. So we'll see what is a tag in the upcoming slides. So how the HTML is represented? It is represented as tags. Then the history of HTML. As my team member already said, it was developed by Berners-Lee. And some interesting thing about that is, after publishing this HTML, he is considered as the father of World Wide Web. And the first edition of HTML was published in 1995. This HTML is used with JavaScript and CSS. So we are using here. The main thing is tools. So we are going to use text editor and web browser. Text editor is how you are going to text, and web browser is to display what you have texted. And tag has two types. One is the container tag and another one is the empty tag. So what is container tag? Container tag will have both opening tag and a closing tag. The opening tag will have look like a symbol with smaller than and greater than, and the closing tag will look like smaller than, greater than, and backslash symbol. But the empty tag will have only the opening tag. And this is how a basic code of HTML look like. So let's see what each text defines. So first is document type HTML. So we are telling that document type is HTML. And next, HTML. How the HTML will contain all the other things like head, title, style, etc. So next, head. Head will have two things. under that. One is title and the other one is style. So head is closed with the backslash. Then the body, which will display every main content of the web page, and the HTML document is closed. So now we are going to explore something interesting. So we are going to create a simple web page here displaying hello world. So let's do it together. Here, first go to the notepad, then click file, then click new. Now we are going to do a HTML page which will display how hello world. Next, yes, HTML. We have to specify what is okay. Then HTML is given. Then we have to specify what we should.
Sagitek, can you please increase the font size? It's a bit small. You have a zoom inside view.
Sorry?
Go to view and you can see a zoom option there. Yeah, click zoom in again, Sagitek, to increase the font size.
Is this okay?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
So next, I already said that we have title and style inside this head. So next, we are going to open the title. Okay, what's our title? We are going to create a web page. So I'm giving that creating a web page. Okay then. So next, I'm going to close this title because title is over. Yes. Then I'm not going to include any style here because it will be explained later with CSS in detail. And next, I'm going to give the body, which is the main content. So yes, body will say hello world. Yes. Then we'll close the body tag. And next, the whole HTML is over. Then the main thing you have to note here is to save. Okay, when we are saving a HTML document, we should save like name.html. So hello.html. Okay. After saving, the font in the text in the page will be in darker color. Okay, so now we'll see the output in web page. Yes, we have successfully created a web page. So this is displaying how a web page will look like. Okay then. Now, yes, we have seen this in the past slide. So here we are going to look a code which will have CSS included with this HTML. Okay. Here you see the document type is mentioned, the HTML document is mentioned, and the title which have DSC web development. Then the title is closed and style tag starts here. So I want the background color of the web page in this number. That number mentions a color. I want the font to be in white color and the font weight to be in bold and the margin of 2% and the font letter to be in colonna empty and font size in 50 pixels. So what I need I have given in that style. So close the style tag, then close the head tag. Now comes the body. Body will have HTML and HR is a horizontal line with 5" in white color. So now let's see that how this displays in a web browser with CSS. So this is the code I have shown you in the PPT. So let's view this in the browser. So here with the background color, the HTML is displayed with the horizontal line in white color. Next will be followed by my team members. Thank you.
A very good evening, guys. This is Mahendra Prakash. Happy to join you in this live. I'm here to introduce you to some basic HTML tags like div, span, list, table, and forms. Now let's start with div and span. Okay, before getting into demonstration, let me give a short brief about what a division tag is. The division tag defines a division or a section in an HTML document. The div tag is used as a container for HTML elements, which is styled with CSS or manipulated with JavaScript. The div tag can be easily styled by using class or ID attributes. Any sort of content can be inserted in this div tag. Okay, let's jump right into the demonstration. First, we should enter the div tag. Okay, guys. Now let me save it and run it in the browser. As you can see, there's no much change in adding division tag within a paragraph without adding any kind of additional styles to it. So let me add an additional inline style. Okay. Now let me add a background color. Okay, having done that, let's refresh the web page. As you can see, the background color of the exact rectangular space occupied by the div is changed color. Now let us add a second division to demonstrate how this division helps us in manipulating the HTML document separately section by section. Let me copy the same code. Let it be division 1 and this be division 2. And let's add a style again. Let's choose a different color. When we hit refresh, we can see a second division which is colored separately. This is how a division tag works. Now let's see how a span works. Span tag is an inline container used to mark up a part of text or a part of a HTML document. The span tag is easily styled by CSS or manipulated with JavaScript using class or ID attribute, just like how we did with div tag. The span tag is much like division tag, but div is a block level element and span is an inline element. You will get to know what that exactly means when you see the demonstration. Now when we hit refresh, the the span will occupy only the space occupied by the actual text rather than having occupying the entire rectangular space horizontally. Now let's hit refresh. As you can see, the result has come, and span can also be used within other tags like division. Now let me demonstrate that. We can just change the color of this division 1 text alone. So let me add a span. As you can see, the color of division 1 alone changed. So that is the working of span tag. So now let's move on to the third tag, which is list. So let me clear this. List is basically a list of various names of items. Let me define it. An list can be classified into two types: unordered and ordered. An unordered list starts with ul tag. Each list item starts with the tag li. Let me demonstrate. Inside this, you can add li, within which you can add the actual item names. Let me name it item 1. That's it there. We have created an unordered list. When we hit refresh, we can see the 3 items displayed. By default, the unordered list shows the items with a rounded dotted thing before it. And let's move on to ordered list. And same happens, but the difference is instead of having that bullet marks, we have a number 1, 2, 3. So let me copy paste it, save, and then refresh. Yes, as you can see, it is number 1, 2, and 3. Apart from this, we have a third type of list, which is not much used, but it is also possible with HTML lists. It is named a description list. Description list is a list of terms with a description of each item, rather than having just the item name. The tag used to have a description list, DL. Then, and inside which we use the tag DT to show to write the term which we will be defining in the next tag. So let me name it coffee. And in next line, we'll be using DD, which is description of what a coffee is, which is basically black hot drink. Let me add a second item too. Let's see how the outcome comes out. as you can see, coffee and its description and milk and its description. That's how lists work. Then we'll move on to tables. We are familiar with tables. We have dealt with it for years now. Tables are nothing but a collection of items with columns and rows. The tag uses table, and inside it we use TR, which stands for table rows. As you know, table has columns and rows, so we'll start with the row. And if you see in most of the tabular columns, we'll have a first row filled with all the column names. Like, let me demonstrate it. For writing those headings, we use this tag called TH, which stands for table headings, table headers. First name, last name, and then gender. All right. Now let us hit refresh there. Okay, you can see the individual columns being created. Now let's add entries to it. Let me add my name first. We are using TR for creating the second row again. And now we are not entering headers, so we'll be using a new tag called TD, which stands for table data. Now my first name is Mahendra. Harsh. And then at last my gender, TD. All right, guys. Now let's hit refresh. As you can see, we can see the first entry. We can add any number of entries. We can keep going on. This is how a table works. And moving on to forms. In lot of websites, when you visit it for the first time, you'll be able to see a list like enter your email address and enter your name. We'll send you our newsletter and like that and all. Let's see how they do that thing and all. First, we use the form tag. Action attribute declares where the entered data by the user should be sent. It will be mostly like a URL within the same server. So we'll put some random URL. But PHP, right? Then first we should have text input areas like text boxes. Then label to say what is the text box, what should be entered in the text box. That is called labeling. We should label tag. For attribute collects the data about which input, where should the input come from. Label name is first name. Let's just keep it that way. And let us close the label tag. And now we should give the text box input. Type as text. And we should give the name here as f name. Only then the data will be sent to the label tag. Then we give here 2 breaks for giving some gaps, as it will be very close to the submit button, which we'll be adding now. Then let us add a submit button. It is also input. That input type of this submit button is submit, and the value attribute is used to show what should be shown inside that button. Let us give it submit itself. All right, the form is also closed. Okay, let us hit save and refresh the page. As you can see, you can enter your name and submit. That's how a form works. That's it, guys. In last, I would like to conclude my presentation with sharing with you how to add a CSS styling page to a HTML document. We have styles.css already ready here, very CSS simple file with background color blue. If you add the CSS file to our HTML, the background simply changes to blue color. So we should use link tag, and the rel attribute is used to say the relationship between the HTML and CSS document. Here the CSS is style sheet, so we should enter that. And the second attribute href, which means hypertext reference. It is usually used to refer to another file, which will be using to link styles.css. Yes, we are done. Now the color should change. Yes, it has changed. That's it, guys. Thank you.
Hello everyone, present here. Hello everyone. Have a very hello everyone. Have a good evening to all. Now I am going to present. My name is Ganesh Kumar. Now I am going to present a CSS. This is a markup language. This is going to style a HTML pages. So CSS, what it stands for CSS? CSS is a cascading style sheets. So now look into deep into go to the CSS. We are going to cover a little topic about CSS and beginning level of the CSS. CSS stands for cascading style sheet, and CSS refers how HTML elements are to be displayed on the screen or in other media like phones and laptops and like tablet. Okay, and CSS saves a lot of the words because let's see what is that about. Next, this is how to add CSS. As earlier Mahendran used as external CSS. Now there are three ways of inserting a style sheet. What are those? Is external CSS, internal CSS, and inline CSS. First, look into the external CSS. External CSS are defined within the link tag, as Mahendran earlier described that. Into the head tag, we have to describe in the link, and we have to use the href hypertext markup language. In that, what the CSS file name. In here, my style is the file name, so we mentioned it here as my style.css. Next, we look into the internal CSS. The internal CSS is nothing but we have to specify a style tag in between the head section. And inside the style tag, we are going to specify what we are going to do. Here I do in the selecting the body section and creating a background color to blue. This is some type of adding the CSS files. And next one is we are going to say inline CSS. Inline CSS are nothing but we are going to specify the styles in the tag also. Okay, if you see now H1 is a heading. We are going to style as a style using the style keyword. We specify the color as blue, and text alignment center. This is the one way of inserting a CSS file. Okay. Basically, external CSS are used by many of them. Mostly 99% is using the external CSS only, because we are going to write as a web developer, we are going to write a long CSS. It will go up to 1,000 lines of CSS code. So it is easy for us to contribute that. Okay, next, one of the important topics in CSS. What are those? Is element, class, and ID selectors. What is class and ID selectors means? We have to select a particular tag, and then only we have to. Okay, take example as if we going to build a real responsive website means there is a lot of elements. We are going to there is a lot of div elements, there is a lot of span and many of them. So we are going to particularly specify one div element means we can go with a class and a ID selector. Okay, now look into the what are those. Okay, element selector. What is an element selector means? Here P means a paragraph tag. We are going to select the paragraph using only, we specify only P and specify that as a color as blue. Okay, okay, here you see. Okay, here the P tag, here we are having a two P tag. The two P tag are also going to be a color as blue, because we specified as a CSS colors equal to blue. Okay, next a class selector. Okay, how do we select a class? Okay, inside a tag, as we already specified as a style tag is equal to color as blue and etc. So here we going to insert a class tag. Class is equal to whatever name you would like. Here it is a blue. But how do you target that class means? You use a dot blue. Class names with dot blue and the color is equal to blue. So let's see what happens. Okay, here you see that paragraph tag having a class as blue and have a paragraph with nothing, no classes, and have a div has a blue class as a blue. Okay, what are the styles we writing is only just one color as a blue. Okay, now look into the paragraph of our code. The p tag and the div tag having the classes blue only have the text as blue, and the remaining means that p tag having no classes is unaffected. So we don't specify any classes to that. So it is not having any styles at all. But we specify the b and div as a class as blue, and we also specify dot blue. We accessing that class and we pointing to that p and a div. So the color will be blue text. Okay, here you see defined with the dot blue. Next one is this is okay. Use it without. These are the what I told. Next we see about the ID selector. Oh, ID is similar to the class. In the HTML page, we can have more than one class names. Okay, you can have any number of how many number of classes we have in HTML pages. That depends upon you. You can go with any number of class name, but that comes to ID means you have a only unique name. If you use a name as your ID selector means you can use only the name to one selector, one tag only. You are not going to repeat that. Okay, you have to make a note of that. Okay, next, this is in the class we use a dot name. Here we use a hash symbol. Hash name as a color as blue. Okay, here you see P has no ID name. Div has IDS name. Div has IDS name. Here the hash name is equal to color is equal to blue. So whatever text you write in between div tag is converted into the color of the text is going to be a blue. Okay, next. The P tag does not affect it because we didn't mention any ID at all. So these are the things between class and ID. This is going to be very useful while using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You are going to how to say, you are going to specify a specific tag. you are going to specify a specific tag means class and ID comes into the role. Okay, this is the one kind of best method in the CSS. Okay, now grouping selectors. What is grouping selectors means? We can group now having a div tag and also I am having a p tag. Both are both I want same attributes like colors blue. So we can use a comma operator. So separate selectors with a comma. Div comma dot blue means p tag within class blue is within that p the text is converted into the blue and also the div is also converted into the blue, but having the p without having the classes is not going to be converted into the blue. This is all about grouping selectors. Okay, next see, oh, what is box model. We are going to see what is box model, and this is the basics of the CSS we are going to do. So what is box model means? So here is a content. Okay, in means outside of the content we have. Okay, let us consider one small box. Okay, one small box we are having one small apple inside it. Okay, that apple surrounding area within that box is called as a padding. So padding is the inner side of the box, and the box width, is called as a border. So we can specify the border in CSS also. This is an example. Next, the outer region of the box is margin. So these are the three things for padding, border, and margin. We have to clear with that three names. You don't confuse with that. The padding is nothing but the content and the box inside area. Okay, let's consider padding is nothing but the inside of the box and the margin is nothing but the outside of the box. Okay, next the height. You can see the height how we specify and the width. This is one of the key. Okay, next is the cumulative margins. Okay, consider you have a two div element or a two span element. Okay, this is the two span element having the content that are very close to each other. So what you are going to do is you have to space between. You have to bring a space between this two boxes. So what we can do is if we specify the first content as a margin right equal to 40 pixel means that will consider the 40 pixel, and the left margin and the right content of margin left that is 50 pixel, so totally 90 pixels. So total 90 pixels of spaces is there between the two content. Okay, next this cumulative margin. So to clear about that, here we see that first content that having the margin bottom is 20 and the second content having margin bottom is 13. As I earlier mentioned, you think that this is a 50 pixel. That is not like that. If we mentioned more than if we consider the first content having the 20 pixel, the next is having have to 20 is less than 20. If having like that, the second content having the 10 pixel right means the margin having total of 30 pixel. If the second content having 30 pixel, so the margin will collapse, and the which is having the greater greater pixel. That is here we see the second content is having the 30 pixel. So the total having the total area is going to be the 30 pixel, not 50 pixel. Okay, now let's dive into the demo session that will explain by my teammate later. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you.
So good evening, everyone. I'm Suryanarayan, so I'm going to take over this live demo session. So in this live demo session, we are going to build a single static web using plain HTML and CSS. So this is the web page we are going to build by the knowledge we have learned so far and by putting them together. So if you have any doubts, feel free to ask in the comment section. எந்த டவுட்னாலும் உடனே கேட்டுருங்க. ஸோ எதுவுமே டிலே பண்ண வேணாம். ஸோ வந்துட்டு இந்த மார்ஜின்ஸ் பேட்டர்ன்ஸ் கொஞ்சம் டவுட்ஸ் வர சான்ஸ் இருக்கு. அது உடனே கேட்டிங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு உடனே. ஸோ லெட் ஸ்டார்ட் வித் த கோட். ஸோ நான் வந்து விஎஸ் கோட் ஐடி யூஸ் பண்ணேன். ஸோ உங்களோட ஃபேவரட் ஐடி எதுவோ அதை நீங்கள் யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. ப்ளஸ் யூஸ்வலி டீபக் பண்ணுறதுக்கு க்ரோம் யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க. பிகாஸ் க்ரோமோட டெவலப்பர் டூல்ஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப பெட்டராக இருக்கும். Okay. So we start by first creating our index.html file. So usual first நம்மளோட boiler page code எல்லாம் டைப் பண்ணிக்கலாம். So doc type HTML land. So இது எல்லாமே boiler page code இந்த ஒன்றும் இல்லை. ஸோ நம்ம ரிப்பீட்டடாக அந்த கோட்ஸ் டைப் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கோம். அதுக்கு இல்லை. ஸோ இந்த டைட்டில் இந்த இடத்துல வந்து நம்ம பேஜோட டைட்டில் வந்து ஸ்பெசிஃபை பண்ணிக்கலாம். இம்பாக்ட் ஆஃப் 2019 to 2020. வந்துட்டு நம்ம என்ன பண்ண போறோம்னா இந்த ஹெடர் செக்ஷன் யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம். ஹெடர் செக்ஷன் கிரியேட் பண்ண போகிறோம். ஸோ நான் வந்து ஜஸ்ட் இந்த பேக்ரவுண்ட் இமேஜோட இருக்கிற செக்ஷன் வித் திஸ் டெக்ஸ்ட் டெவலப்பர் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் கிளப் அண்ட் ப்ளஸ் அண்ட் கனெக்ட்ல இருந்து. ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து என்ன பண்ணால் நம்ம இந்த செக்ஷன் மட்டும்தான் கிரியேட் பண்ண போகிறோம். கிரியேட் பண்ணுறது நம்ம எப்போவுமே என்ன எலமெண்ட்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணோம்னா பேசிக்கலி 2 elements யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். One is div and another one is span. So both of them differ by their property. So div, and we will give it a class name first. So class name will be banner. So we need a background height. This is 500 pixels, but for your screens it may so free to choose values. And I am creating a new folder for CSS, and I will allow to go with the same name for the CSS file also, index.css. First we have to set our background image. To set background, before that we have to select where we have to place our background image. we have to place our background image in the banner section. So we will choose it. For selecting a class, we need to use the dot followed by the class name. So next we need to specify the property. In the URL, we have to put the path of the image where our background image is located. So let me put the image first. Have been imported. So let me rename it. So now we have to pass this path. To pass the path, the image is available in the project root folder. To the root folder, we have to use the forward slash. Then the ID we will show us some options. So here is our image blackwords.jpg, and we will go with that. Remember to end every CSS statement with a semicolon, otherwise your property won't be applied. So now we'll see it how it is going on. Before that, we have to start. Sorry. Okay. Now import the now we will import the CSS file into our link tag. So just we have to specify the path for the index.css file. So the index.css file is address folder and index.css file. So this type of including the CSS file into for the external CSS. Mostly you will see this type of CSS is used in the inline. So now
Surya, your voice is breaking, Surya. I think you have a network issue on your side. So turn off your video and continue with just audio alone. I think that would be better.
yeah, it is showing nothing, right? Let's what to our page. Build banner. Latest. Okay. The image is not shown because didn't have any content, so the image will not be shown by
Surya,
default.
can you
To
hear me,
make the image
Surya?
show even when it has, so we have the image to be shown even having content. To make that way, so min height specifies that an image should be at least symmetrical even if it has a content on. So let me specify else. Shall we excuse me. We can little margins and paddings right between the image and the body of the web page. So it is called the default CSS. Every browser will have its own default margin on use Arial font like that. So now I'm going to remove all those margins. remove the body, going to select the I'm going to set margin to 0. Yeah, now the those white spaces have gone. But even though our image is not looking pretty good, right? We have some zoom depth is not so the full image is like this. But not the case in the page, right? So we have to change it. So to change it, we have to set the background size to cover. So which means it will cover the background of its parent. For example, it covers the whole 500 pixel using this image. Yeah, now it's looking good, right? Next, we will add the text we need to add. This developer student club connect and go. So we can directly add it here. So I'm going to wrap this text into development. So div club name. So developer student club. Then I'm going to give it a class of tagline. So then connect, learn, and group. So shall we see it now? Developer student club. Why we are not able to see that in text? So let me add some styles to those events also. Font size is to 72 pixels. Sorry. Yeah, you can see this, but the font is in black color, so that's why we are unable to see it. So let me change the font color. To change the text color, we will use the property called color and specify what color we need. So
Surya, can you
we
hear
need,
me, Surya?
yeah,
I think you have a network issue from your end. Your voice is breaking. So turn off your video off until you continue with just the audio, and I think that would be good.
yeah, sure. Is it okay now?
Yes, Surya, you can continue.
Yeah, okay. So let me save it. Yeah, now we are able to see the text. So but this is not the color we want, like we want this to be in the separate colors. So to do this, I will separate these three words using the element called span. your project, then I'm going to give this also a class or id. We can go with both, but usually class is preferred over ids. So let me give this a class of class equal to developer, class equal to student, class equal to class. So now what we are going to do is we are going to give each of the word each of its own color. So developer has a color of what? Let me check. Okay, developer has a color of blue. Student have a color of red, and club has a and the club class has a color of yellow. I think so. So let me check it once. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. We got those three different colors. As you can see, when we select this text, we are also able to see this connect learn go tagline, right? So we have to make it visible too. So to make it visible, just we have to update its font size. So the tagline has a class of tagline, so we will use it. Dot tagline and color. Sorry, we have to change the font size. Font size of within. Sorry. It will have a font size of 36px. Okay. Yeah. We can change. So here also we are going to change the color to white. Yeah, here we go. Then we need to change these fonts, and we have to place it in the center. So to do that, first we have to get the required fonts. To get the required fonts, we can use the site fonts.google.com. So first we will choose my favorite font, which is Roberto. So let me copy this text. Sorry, copy this link, and I will paste it here. I'm doing this because our web page or our browser does not contain all the required fonts. We have to import it from the website. So now I have imported the Roberto font. Let me change this. So let me change the font of our club name. So to change the font, we have to use the property font family. Font family, and I'm going to specify Roberto. Okay. Let us check it now. Yeah, but it has but it got somewhat a little weight, lesser weight than this one. So that's not a problem. So we will make it center. So to make it center, first we have to wrap these two elements into a single element. So already we have wrapped it into the banner, but we have to again we need to wrap it into the other element. So div dot banner wrapper with that class name. Okay. Yep. Now it has been wrapped. We will use that class dot banner wrapper. So first we will make it center. To make it center, we will make the we will use the text align property of this banner. What the text align property will do is it will center all the elements like this. So this one, text align center. Yeah, I think now you can see it clear. Yeah, now the text has been center, but it is horizontally center but not vertically. So to make it vertically center, we have to manually move it. So to manually move, what we will do is we will use a property called position and set its property to relative. What it so I will show you. Now I will we can either use, but more than this we can use the margin property. So we will use margin of 10%. So before that we will need to add a padding of 1%. Excuse me. Excuse me, let me check what went wrong. Yeah, okay, we can continue. Sorry, we don't need to add the padding to the wrapper. Instead we need to add it to the banner itself, because if we don't add any padding, the margin okay, fine. Yeah, now we got the center line text. So for time being I will let you to change this text. So uh, this code will be available on GitHub. We will share with you, and the next this part, the activities part, will be created by my team lead Mr. Harish, and I will hand over this presentation to him.
So thank you, Suryanarayanan, for the demonstration of this page. So let we ஸோ தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் டெமான்ஸ்ட்ரேட்டிங். ஸோ நம்ம நெக்ஸ்ட்டு வந்துட்டு ஆக்டிவிட்டீஸ் எப்படி பண்ணலாம் அப்படிங்கிறத வச்சு ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்கிறேன். ஸோ வி ஆல்ரெடி டன் தட். ஸோ டைப் பண்ணி பண்ணுறதுக்கு கொஞ்சம் லேட் ஆகும். ஸோ அது ஜஸ்ட் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் இட். ஸோ நம்ம என்ன பண்ணியிருக்கோம்னா div element யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். எதுக்குன்னா பிகாஸ் we need to செப்பரேட் ஆக்டிவிட்டீஸ் ஃப்ரம் தி பேனர். ஸோ நாங்கள் அதை செப்பரேட் பண்ணுறதுக்காக என்ன பண்ணியிருக்கோம்னா இதை வந்துட்டு புதுசாக ஒரு செக்ஷனாக வந்துட்டு கொண்டு வந்திருக்கோம். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் அ ஹோல் செக்ஷன். ஸோ அது வந்துட்டு நாங்கள் div யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். தென் மெயின் டைட்டில் ஆக்டிவிட்டீஸ் அண்ட் அகெயின் இன்சைட் தட் again we divided that into elements. We like this is one a block, this one is a block. இந்த மாதிரி நாங்கள் பிளாக்காக பிரித்து இண்டிவிஜுவலாக வந்துட்டு நாங்கள் எடிட் பண்ணுறதுக்காக வந்துட்டு நாங்கள் ஈச் ஒன் ஆஃப் திஸ் இஸ் இண்டிவிஜுவலி டிவைடட் ஆஸ் அ பிளாக். ஸோ நெக்ஸ்ட்டு வந்துட்டு இமேஜ் வந்துட்டு இம்போர்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கு. ஸோ யூ கேன் சி தி இமேஜ் டிஸ்பிளைட் ஹியர். ஸோ அதுக்கான சிஎஸ்எஸ் வந்து நாங்கள் எப்படி போட்டிருக்கோம்னா ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் வாட் இட். ஸோ மார்ஜின் ஆக்டிவிட்டி லைக் Ganesh said. ஸோ மார்ஜின் பேடிங் இஸ் அ வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் திங். ஸோ நீங்கள் ஒரு வெப்சைட் நீங்கள் எடிட் பண்ணுறதா இருந்தாலும் சரி, நீங்கள் க்ரியேட் பண்ணுறதா இருந்தாலும் சரி, மார்ஜின் பேடிங் வந்துட்டு உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ். நீங்கள் மார்ஜின் பேடிங் கொடுக்கலைன்னா எலிமெண்ட்ஸ் வந்துட்டு ஓவர்லே ஆகிறதுக்கான சான்சஸ் வந்துட்டு ரொம்ப அதிகமாக இருக்குது. அப்படி நீங்கள் இது பண்ணிங்கன்னா it will not be good looking. ஸோ மார்ஜின் பேடிங் வந்துட்டு நீங்கள் வந்துட்டு அவசியம் யூஸ் பண்ணியே ஆகணும். ஸோ தட்ஸ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் திங் இன் சிஎஸ்எஸ். ஸோ அதுக்கப்புறம் நாங்கள் என்ன பண்ணியிருக்கோம்னா ஸ்பேன் வச்சு லைக் இட் செட் ஸ்பேன் இஸ் அ இன்லைன். ஸோ வந்துட்டு அதை தனியாக ஒரு பிளாக்காக இது பண்ணாமல் நாங்கள் வந்துட்டு அந்த ஸ்பேன் டேக் யூஸ் பண்ணி இமேஜுக்கு சைடில் வந்துட்டு நாங்கள் அப்படியே டிஸ்பிளே பண்ணியிருக்கோம். யூ கேன் யூஸ் ஃப்ளோட் அட்ரிபியூட். ஸோ நீங்கள் ஃப்ளோட் அட்ரிபியூட் யூஸ் பண்ணி நீங்கள் ஃப்ளோட் ரைட்டுன்னு கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா டெக்ஸ்ட்டு வந்துட்டு ரைட் சைடில் இதாகும். ஃப்ளோட் லெஃப்ட்டுன்னு கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா டெக்ஸ்ட்டு வந்துட்டு லைக் திஸ் லெஃப்ட் சைடில் வந்துட்டு உங்களுக்கு வந்துட்டு டிஸ்பிளே ஆகும். ஸோ நாங்கள் வந்துட்டு நார்மலாக வந்துட்டு ஸ்பேன் டேக் யூஸ் பண்ணதுனால நாங்கள் ஈஸியாக வந்துட்டு ரைட் சைடில் இது பண்ணிட்டோம். ஸோ இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் எஃபிஷியண்ட்டாக வேணும்னா யூ கேன் யூஸ் ஃப்ளோட் அட்ரிபியூட் இன் சிஎஸ்எஸ். ஸோ நீங்கள் அந்த கிளாஸ் ஸ்பெசிஃபிக் கிளாஸ்க்கு வந்துட்டு நீங்கள் வந்துட்டு ஃப்ளோட் லெஃப்ட் ஃப்ளோட் ரைட் அந்த மாதிரி நீங்கள் வந்துட்டு நேம் வேல்யூ பேர் வந்துட்டு நீங்கள் கொடுத்துக்கலாம். So we are dividing it again. We are dividing the activity for the second one. So this is a second block. ஸோ நாங்கள் இந்த இதுக்கு வந்துட்டு கொஞ்சம் பேடிங் கொடுத்துருக்கோம். ஏன்னா வந்து நாங்கள் ஃபஸ்ட்டு பண்ணும்போது ஹெட்டிங் வந்துட்டு கண்டென்ட்டுக்கு மேலே ஓவர்லேப் ஆக ஆரம்பிச்சிச்சு. ஸோ வாட் வி டிட் இஸ் வி யூஸ்ட் ஸ்பேன். ஸோ வி யூஸ்ட் பேடிங் அட்ரிபியூட். ஸோ நாங்கள் பேடிங் அட்ரிபியூட் யூஸ் பண்ணனால தான் எங்களுக்கு வந்துட்டு அந்த ஹெட்டிங்க்கும் உள்ளே இருக்க அந்த கண்டென்ட்டுக்கும் எங்களுக்கு ஸ்பேசிங் கிடச்சிது. ஸோ நான் ஃபஸ்ட்டே சொன்ன மாதிரி மார்ஜின் பேடிங் இஸ் a வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் திங். நீங்கள் ஒரு HTML பேஜ் நீங்கள் வந்துட்டு க்ரியேட் பண்ணும்போது நீங்கள் சிஎஸ்எஸ் ஸ்டைல் பண்ணுறீங்கன்னா பேடிங் அண்ட் மார்ஜின் இஸ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் ஒன். ஸோ நீங்கள் அதை வந்துட்டு ஃப்ரீக்வெண்ட்டாக வந்துட்டு நீங்கள் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டே இருப்பீங்க. ஸோ அது நீங்கள் வந்துட்டு கண்டிப்பாக வந்துட்டு நீங்கள் யூஸ் பண்ணணும். ஸோ அகெயின் வி யூஸிங் அ தேர்ட் பிளாக். திஸ் ஆல்ரெடி செப்பரேட் பிளாக். இமேஜ் இந்த ஹெட்டிங்லேருந்து இந்த லைன் வரைக்கும் ஃபுல்லாகவே வந்துட்டு ஒரு செப்பரேட்டான பிளாக். ஸோ அதுக்கும் நாங்கள் வந்துட்டு div tag யூஸ் பண்ணி அது ஒரு செப்பரேட் பிளாக்காக பிரித்து அதுக்கும் நாங்கள் சிஎஸ்எஸ் கோட் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஸோ டிஸ்பிளே இன்லைன் பிளாக் வந்துட்டு நீங்கள் உங்களுக்கு பார்த்தினாலே தெரியும். ஸோ இட்ஸ் லைக் உங்களுக்கு வந்துட்டு பிளாக்காகவும் டிஸ்பிளே ஆகும். அதே சமயத்தில் அங்கங்கே ஸ்ப்ரெட் ஆகாமல் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு நீட்டான ஒரு பொசிஷனில் வந்துட்டு டிஸ்பிளே ஆகிறதுக்கு தான் நாங்கள் வந்து என்ன பண்ணியிருக்கோம்னா இன்லைன் பிளாக் வந்துட்டு அந்த டிஸ்பிளே அட்ரிபியூட்டில் இன்லைன் பிளாக் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு இது நாங்கள் யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் த ஆக்டிவிட்டி பிளாக். ஸோ இட்ஸ் அ செப்பரேட் ஒன் ஃப்ரம் திஸ் டு எண்ட். இது வந்துட்டு முழுக்க வந்துட்டு ஒரு செப்பரேட்டான ஒரு பிளாக். ஸோ அதுக்கப்புறம் நாங்கள் என்ன இது பண்ணியிருக்கோம்னா ஃபூட்டர் வந்துட்டு உங்களுக்கு மெயினாக நீங்கள் ஒரு சைட் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஃபூட்டரில் வந்துட்டு உங்களுக்கு சோஷியல் மீடியா லிங்க் கொடுத்துருப்பாங்க, அப்புறம் நாபார் அதோட லிங்க்ஸ்லாம் கொடுத்துருப்பாங்க. ஸோ ஃபூட்டரும் ஆல்சோ வந்துட்டு உங்கள் வெப்சைட்டில் நீங்கள் ஒரு பெரிய வெப்சைட் பண்ணுறீங்க அப்படின்னா, நீங்கள் சோஷியல் மீடியாவில் வந்துட்டு நீங்கள் அட்வர்டைஸ்மெண்ட் பண்ணணும், அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது ஒரு இது இருந்துச்சுன்னா நீங்கள் வந்துட்டு ஃபூட்டரில் வந்துட்டு இந்த மாதிரி நீங்கள் லிங்க்ஸ் கொடுத்துக்கலாம். ஸோ நாங்கள் இங்கே வந்துட்டு ஃபேஸ்புக், லிங்க்டின் அண்டு ட்விட்டர் இது மூணுத்துக்கான லிங்க் நாங்கள் கொடுத்துருக்கோம். ஸோ ஃபூட்டர் டேக் யூஸ் பண்ணி நீங்கள் ஒரு ஃபூட்டர் வந்துட்டு நீங்கள் க்ரியேட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஸோ யூஸ்ட் class for editing the footer. So we used contact link, அதே மாதிரி நாங்கள் இன்லைன் பிளாக் யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். தென் டெக்ஸ்ட் டெக்கரேஷன் அப்படின்னா இப்போ நீங்கள் ஒரு ஏ டேக் யூஸ் பண்ணுறீங்கன்னா அதில் வந்துட்டு நார்மலாக நீங்கள் ஏ டேக் யூஸ் பண்ணும் போது உங்களுக்கு அந்த டெக்ஸ்ட்டுக்கு கீழே வந்துட்டு அன்லைன் மாதிரி ஒன்று வரும். ஸோ இப்போ நீங்கள் டெக்ஸ்ட் டெக்கரேஷன் நன்னு கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா இட் லுக்ஸ் லைக் அ டெக்ஸ்ட், நார்மல் டெக்ஸ்ட் மாதிரி இருக்கும், பட் இட்ஸ் அ கிளிக்கபிள் ஒன். ஸோ அதுக்கு தான் வந்துட்டு நம்ம வந்துட்டு டெக்ஸ்ட் டெக்கரேஷன் நன்னுங்கிற ஒரு அட்ரிபியூட் வந்துட்டு நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். ஸோ தீஸ் ஆர் தி அதர் ஸ்டைலிங் திங்ஸ் வி டன் இன் திஸ் பேஜ். ஸோ இதெல்லாமே வந்துட்டு கிட்டப்பில் வந்துட்டு அவைலபிளாக இருக்குது. We will put a GitHub link in comments. You can download it or clone, pull anything you want and play with it. So yeah, that's it for this demonstration. So if you have any questions, please post it in comment box. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harish and team. That was a wonderful demonstration on web development and the basics of web. So thank you so much. Like the team said, internet is everywhere and it is made of several websites. There are simple websites like our college and school websites, and a more website like Flipkart, Amazon, and other shopping websites. There are some minimalistic themed and there are some aesthetic themed websites. It's all just the design, but the basics are all the same. The best thing about this domain is that if you learn and become a pro in this, you could build your own firm and start earning only for creating websites for companies. So hope you will make use of this domain and start building your own websites. And if you want any help with this domain, this video will be uploaded on our channel. So do check it out whenever you want, and you will be there to help you every time you wish to. So we've come to the end of this event. I would like to invite Simuchand to share about the upcoming events of our club and to give the vote of thanks.
Hi people, how are you? So thank you so much for joining in. It's been a great demo day, and thank you Harish and the entire team of web development for having a good demo session. With yeah, we had a certain network issues here and there, but still, it was overall a good one. Thank you so much for supporting us. You have been throughout the event. And regarding the upcoming events, we have a great session coming up tomorrow. That's cloud. We have a Google developer expert joining in us to answer your questions and how you have to career your path with cloud development. All those would be answered tomorrow. We have technical team from DSC SREC also joining in to give you the insights of cloud architecture and stuffs like that. And moving on, we have Monday, we have another great session on ethical hacking, how to secure yourself from the cyber world. So that would be another interesting session for you people also. So stay tuned with DSC SREC. Have a great day. We are hoping for the upcoming events. And yeah, thank you so much, Ovia, for taking on the show completely. Thank you, people. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay home. God bless you all.
Thank you, Simu. Like Simu said, and I say, the beautiful thing about learning is no one can take it away from you. So explore and learn a lot every day and help people around you to gain the same knowledge. After all, all the knowledge you gain is limitless. So we hope you all will make use of today's event. Thank you for your patience listening and joining us here today. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles to be updated on all our forthcoming events. Stay home and stay safe. Good night.